תודה, תודה. So I would like to start today, until even we have few minutes to the right time. I would like to start with the parasha, one point from the parasha, and then we will go to the shofar, to the sound of the shofar. However, we have two shofarot. We have the shofar of Rosh Hashanah, and we have the shofar of the month of Elul. And today we will study together about the uniqueness about the shofar of Elul. As you know from the Torah, it is obligated to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. During the month of Elul is not from the Torah. The Halabim, by the way, I think they don't even blow the shofar in Elul. But most of the Sfaradim, they do blow the shofar on the entire month of Elul. Only on Erev Rosh Hashanah, they do not blow the shofar to distinguish between shofar of Elul and shofar of Rosh Hashanah. But as I said 2 minutes ago, I would like just one word, one little thing about from the parasha. The parasha is Ki Tavo. And they learn Vehaya Ki Tavo, when it was or it will be, when you will come to Eretz Israel, we have to take the fruit and to give Trumot Ma'asrot, and the 4th year we have to go to Yerushalayim to eat the fruits in Yerushalayim. However, the question is, when they entered to Israel, when did they start to bring the Bikurim to go to Yerushalayim? There are two opinions. As you know how many years took for Yoshua to divide the land and to give to each tribe to get his piece, his portion. You know how long took it? After the war, it took 14 years until the war was over and until everybody settled. And Reuven, Gad, V'Chatzim, Nashe went to cross the Jordan River. Now the question is, when did they start to bring the Bikurim and Trumot? And right when they enter or after 14 years? You understand? So the halacha is, one says, after 14 years, because it says clear until you settle. And one said, no, the word Vehaya means in Hebrew immediately. So now, when you have dispute like between Hillel and Shammai, who is right? Most of the time. We know that we follow Hillel. Most of the time. Nachon? So now the question, but Shammai is wrong completely? Shammai was Talmid Chacham. No, he says, Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Chaim. But he said what Hillel said is from God, and what Shammai said is from God. Everything is from God. But however, you have to follow one halacha. Or you cannot say, for instance, the big dispute between Hillel and Shammai and Hanukkah, with the first night, how many candles you light?
In Hanukkah?
Yes, the first night.
One.
One. You know what? And what Shammai said? No, forget about the Shammai. You're right. One. Okay? You know what Shammai says? 8. So according to Shammai, you're going from 8 to 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. According to Hillel, you increase every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how is it possible to say Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Chaim? Only one of them is right. The fact is we follow Hillel. So I would like to explain to you the concept and the expression Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Chaim. So why you bring Trumot Ma'asrot? You know what he say, Bikurim? You know what the word Bikurim means? What is the shoresh? What is the word? It comes from the word Bechor. What is Bechor? What is the meaning of the Bechor? First one. Nachon? Very good. So the Bikurim is, what is it? What the connection between Bikurim and the firstborn? is the first fruit.
Yes.
You take the first fruit to Yerushalayim. How do you know which fruit was first? Was really first? You have, let's say, orange. I have in my yard, I have orange, I have mango, I have this. How do I know which one was the first? When the buds start, when the fruits start, I take a little string and make a sign and mark which fruit was first. And to bring the first is very, very important. If it's not the first fruit, it's not bikurim. Why the first is very important? Can you give me the logic?
Because everything comes from God and
Very good, Malka. So what you declare when you bring the first fruit, it's not mine. Because when you plant your own tree, you really die. When you see the fruit, you said, "Why, gosh, I plowed, I plant, I put water. It's me." Say, "Hey, mister, it's not you. It's from Hashem." To show that you really believe that everything is from Hashem, you take the first fruit. First fruit you show, Reshit. He said, remember he said, Reshit, the beginning of everything Kadosh is belong to Hashem. The first that I take the first fruit, I said to Hashem, I know all the fruits belong to you. But the Reshit, the beginning, the Bechorim, the Bikurim, it is the most important. By the way, in your part, the part of our body, which part, we have 248 parts, organ, nachon? We have hands, we have eyes, we have ears, we have nose. Which part of our body is the most important?
heart.
What?
The heart. Then,
You sure?
no.
Rosh. What do you eat in Rosh Hashanah? The Rosh. נהיה לראש ולא לזנב. So the Rosh is the more important. You know what is the Rosh? The Rosh is Reshit, is the beginning. The beginning. By the way, how do you say in Spanish New Year?
Año nuevo.
How do you say in English?
New Year.
How do you say it in Hebrew?
Shana Tova.
No! Rosh Hashanah. Only in Hebrew. Only in Hebrew you say the word Rosh. All the other languages is in New Year. They said, New Year, or they say New Year is in Hebrew Shana Hadasha, not Rosh Hashanah. So the Rosh, do you know when the First World War happened?
I don't hear what?
The First World War. If you look at the the Google, put First World War, it says 1914.
Yes.
Nachon? You agree? But it's a big mistake. You know what the First World War is? Between Cain and Abel. It's 25% of the world fought against 25% of the world. Who killed whom? Why Cain killed Abel? He was jealous. Why Hashem accepted the Korban of Abel, not of Cain? Why?
Because it was not the first one.
What said Malka? Say it again.
It was not the first one.
Hevel Evi Mereshit, Rosh, the first fruit. Cain could bring many tomatoes and cucumbers, but the first fruit he took for himself. So you see the word Rosh and Reshit, it is very, very, very important. So now let's go. So what you said, Malka said in the beginning, is to say to Hashem, Toda Rabba. Toda Rabba. Thank you very much, Toda Rabba. Now, after he said Toda Rabba, now, when you really want to praise somebody, to say Toda, when do you say Toda? Let's say, if you had Chas v'Shalom a surgery, and you are cured completely, you are very good health, how do you say Toda Rabba to Hashem? Hodaya, what you do?
We put a table with
You made a feast.
and we
Seudat mitzvah. נכון? סעודת מצווה, you do סעודת הודיה. Toda Hashem. But after when the doctor told you, I have MRI, I have the X-rays, everything looks very good. What is your first reaction?
תודה לאל.
Ah, Malka, thank you for helping me today. So wait, you said Toda Lael, so why you make feast? That you'd say Toda. How many Todot?
Make something more. We want to make something more.
Ah, now, how often we say Toda to Hashem? What the first thing you do when you open your eyes in the morning? Ah, Modeh Ani. You say Modeh Ani Toda Hashem. The first word that we opening, Reshit, the beginning of the day, I said even before I wash my hands not pure, and I say Modeh Ani. Nachon? Now, do you remember the Shmona Esrei, the silent Amidah? Do we say Toda to Hashem in silent Amidah?
אנחנו,
What? What is אנחנו?
אנחנו מודים.
Ah, Modim Anachnu. Now, which Toda is longer? Modim Anachnu or Modeh Ani?
מודים אנחנו.
Modim Anachnu is long. So now tell me now, when you remember the mahloket is, when you start to say Toda to Hashem, right after when we enter to Eretz Israel or after 14 years? We say, Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Hayim. You know what? In the beginning you say Toda, the short Toda, but after 14 years you say the big Toda. So you do a very quick Toda La'el, like you said. Oh my gosh, the doctor gave me good news today. Everything is good. I have good, blood pressure. My sugar is good. Everything is good. Toda La'el. But when you say Toda to Hashem big, you make feast. So what is Elu va'elu? So you can do also, right when they enter to Eretz Israel, the short Toda, and then after 14 years, when you settle, you make the big Toda. It's like when you buy a new house, you put a mezuzah, you say Toda Hashem that I have a new house, then you have Hanukkah Bayit. You dedicate the house, you make a big feast. So that's the meaning, Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Hayim. So I don't want you to think for 1 minute that all the dispute between all the rabbis is one is right, one is wrong. One is right, one is wrong, concerning the halacha, what we have to do. But with the fact that Shammai says 8, 7, 3, 6 and Hanukkah is also big reason and good reason from Hashem. It's Mishamayim. It's not Chas v'Shalom is wrong. Elu va'elu divrei Elokim Hayim. Is it clear? Am I clear? Yeah. Tell the one who is spoken to mute the microphone. Okay, now we're going to our subject. We discussed this few times in previous years about let's see the halacha. I put few new things and I would like it's very, very interesting. And in the middle of the shiur, we'll go to the famous ayeka that we all learn. I'm sure some of you remember. Of course, we're going to upgrade, but let's take step by step. I'm going on to a big posek. His name is Tur, the Tur, and on Shulchan Aruch, he said Ora Hayim. The Siman is 581. Okay, just to show you the source. I copy this, straight to my sources. Tanya, בפרקי רבי אליעזר. What happened? בראש חודש אלול, on ראש חודש אלול, אמר הקדוש ברוך הוא למשה. Hashem said to Moshe, עלה אלי ההרה, come up to the mountain. שאז, which mountain we talking about? No, we're not there yet. הר סיני. כן? עלה אלי ההרה, שאז עלה לקבל לוחות אחרונות. He went to get the second tablets. The first one he broke, remember? The first one he broke, the second 2 tablets. Do you know which date? Which date the first time Moshe was on Mount Sinai? Shavuot. Vav Sivan. Nachon? Which date we got the second 2 tablets? Yom Kippur, very good. So keep in mind, Now Rosh Chodesh Elul, how many days before Kippur is this?
40.
40. How many days Moshe was on the
3
mountain?
days. 40.
40 days. So he went on Rosh Chodesh Elul until Hashem said to him, I forgive you. And then he gave him the second 2 tablets. So the real Matan Torah, we received on Yom Kippur. Because the first time we saw the sound, we heard the shofar, it was beautiful production. But we didn't get the tablets. But we got the tablets really on Yom Kippur. So we said, La'ala lekabel ve'viru shofar. The moment that Moshe went up to the mountain, ve'viru shofar. They said they sound the shofar, they blew the shofar. But I'm thinking if to say here, they blew the shofar. Because here the shofar, it doesn't mean real shofar. You know what is the Aviru shofar? Shofar is also could be announcement. They made announcement. What is the announcement? Look here. Moshe ala lahar. Can you help me? What is Moshe ala lahar? Moshe went up to the mountain. Moshe ala lahar, Moshe ala lahar, Moshe ala lahar. Everybody should read the message. Moshe ala lahar. Why the message is what the announcement was very important? Extremely important. Why? Do you remember why the people made the golden calf, the Egel HaZahav?
Because Moshe wasn't there.
He was delayed. How much time he was delayed? How?
Hours, 6 hours.
6 hours, exactly. For 6 hours, they goofed big time. So now what is everybody's worry now? Not to make the same mistake. So he said, Moshe ala lahar, shelo yit'u od achar avodat gilulim. Not to make the same mistake. It could be late, it could be this. Don't make the second mistake. Okay? Now, so this is now, so as we say shofar, as we're talking here, we can say, translate the word shofar, also announcement. Nachon? But the second reason, והקדוש ברוך הוא נתעלה באותו shofar. And הקדוש ברוך הוא in Hashem was elevated by the shofar. So it's not announcement, though, it's really shofar. So what he said, if you remember Rosh Hashanah, we say the pasuk. Look at the pasuk, we say the next line. Ala Elohim bitru'ah, Hashem bekol shofar. Remember, what is Ala Elohim bitru'ah? Tru'ah. By the way, what is the name of Rosh Hashanah? There are a few names. Yom Tru'ah. So Ala Elohim Tru'ah is the shofar of Rosh Hashanah. Hashem bekol shofar is the shofar of Chodesh Elul. You understand? So we have 2 shofarot. One shofar of Rosh Hashanah, and one shofar is Chodesh Elul. לכן התקינו חז"ל שיהיו תוקעים בראש חודש אלול בכל שנה ושנה. So that's the reason, this is the reason that we blow the shofar all חודש אלול, every year. וכל החודש כדי להזהיר ישראל שעשו תשובה, is in addition to remind them the history, not to repeat the same mistake, is also, what do you think, when you hear the shofar in the beginning of Elul, when you hear the shofar, what people, the immediate reaction of people, you know what the immediate reaction? Wow! Yeah, it's already Rosh Hashanah. Wow! I have to pray, I have to give tzedakah. So the shofar is not trumpet, it's different tool. It's a very special tool, the shofar. So he said, we blow the shofar to remind the people to start to make tshuva. So here, so as we said, now, yes, shofar של ראש השנה. Now we have, as a matter of fact, 3 shofarot. Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Chodesh. נכון? Rosh Chodesh Elul, he says. What about the entire month? It says Rosh Chodesh. Ala Moshe and Rosh Chodesh. So what about the entire month? So look at the Bet Yosef. Bet Yosef is Rabbi Yosef Karo. לכן התקינו חז"ל שיהיו תוקעים בראש חודש אלול. This is the reason we blow on ראש חודש אלול. To remember when Moshe went up on Rosh Chodesh Elul. שנאמר אם ייתקע שופר בעיר והעם לא יחרדו. השופר, if the people will hear the sound of the shofar and they won't have some sort of an anxiety, you know, some people get scared when they hear the shofar. איכא למדך שכבר הביא ראיה משופר. He said, so wait a minute. So we have two shofars. The shofar that said אם ייתקע shofar is in the book of Amos. It's another pasuk. So he said, look what Bet Yosef said. איכא למדך שכבר הביא ראיה משופר שתקעו במדבר. Do you remember about the first shofar? The first shofar is the shofar of the desert. When Moshe went up to Mount Sinai, they blew the shofar. So we have the shofar of the desert, and we have the shofar of the book of Amos. So now, you know what Bet Yosef asking? Look at the yellow. Velama letu? Why do we need two? It's not enough the shofar of the desert. Do I need an extra shofar of Amos? Why do I need two sources? Usually when you prove one time from one pasuk. Is the question clear? So again, why do I need shofar of the desert when Moshe went up to the mountain, and then another shofar from the book of Amos? So לעיתוי ראיה מאם ייתקע שופר בעיר. ועוד יש לומר, משופר, when you make tshuva, when we make tshuva, on what we make tshuva? On the past, present, or future?
On the future.
You make tshuva on the future? You know that you're going to make a sin?
Both. Past and then
Huh?
past, both.
Ah.
Present and future.
You know, few times you mention, you know, that the top, what is the highest level of tshuva? Do you remember what the highest level of tshuva? Let me remind you. We mentioned this few times and try to keep it in your mind. The best tshuva of a person is to prevent the sin. Because when you make the sin, so then you have to make tshuva because of the sin. But if you know you're going to make the sin, and you prevented yourself not to make the sin, this is a very high level. Is it clear? You know how we call it in English? Is, you know, when you define as a teacher, as an educator, I always using, you know, what is a good teacher, what is not good teacher. You know who is a good teacher? The good teacher who prepare the shiur before he give the shiur, not after the shiur. And the bad teacher is the one who, you know, tries to prepare the shiur after. And then the people make the students know he is not ready, and they make balagan in the class. So we call it proactive and post-active. Proactive means you prevent. Now, if you want to be in good health, what you should do? To eat whatever you want and don't go to the dietitian, or to prevent yourself not to be overweight, to prevent yourself, to be proactive. So to be proactive is the healthiest one. So now, why the shofar of the desert? For what? Is to prevent the sin, or is after the sin?
Prevent.
To prevent. They said, don't do again what you did before in the history. I make the shofar to warn you. That's to be proactive. However, we have also post-active tshuva. We make sins. Every day we make sin. Has v'shalom, but that's the reality. So when I make sin, you know, just I give you an example that people very easily making avera. Lashon hara. Lashon hara. People talking, they don't even realize what a big sin is this. But after you realize you made a sin, you have to make tshuva. So the best tshuva for Lashon hara is ta'anit dibur. What is ta'anit dibur? You make a ta'anit not to talk. Not good and not bad. All day, ta'anit dibur. So that's so now we learn. So the pasuk of the shofar of the desert is to be proactive, to prevent the sin. And the pasuk of Amos is after the sin. So for all the sin that we did already. So we need, that's why we have two. And that's the beautiful answer of Bet Yosef. Now, my dear friend, I'm going to the $1 million question. So this, if you remember, I said before very quick, but let's see if you remember, the power of this shofar, listen, he said, if you blow the shofar, that's a guarantee that you will not make the sin. Nachon? That's the shofar of the desert. So you know the word sgula, nachon?
Yes.
The word sgula, you know what is sgula? By the way, there is a Spanish name for the word sgula.
Miracle. Miracle.
Miracle, yeah? Miracle is a ness.
Segula es something good es como, exacto, es como un mérito, un mérito.
Okay, beseder. So there is a word, because very hard to translate this word. Very hard. There is no word in English for this. But segula, so now we have to this shofar, segula, how not to make a sin. Nachon? You blow the shofar, then you will not make the sin. But he said, what kind of segula is this? Since when Hashem gave us such a segula, what the power of the shofar is so much power. It's powerful shofar that has the ability to stop, to avoid from me and from you, from all of us, to make a sin. What kind of segula is this? We never found something like this. Hashem said, do this and you will not make. You understand the question? My dear friends, so look here above 3. השאלה הגדולה, the big question. איזה סגולה מיוחדת? Which special סגולה? יש לה שופר, to this שופר, שהוא מסוגל, that has the ability to prevent a sin. That's very, very amazing. So that's what we're going to learn today. Rambam in Ilchot Tshuva, he's trying to give us, I'll do it very quick, but he said, the shofar also wake you up and to remind you, nachon? But he said, if you make a sin, it is not you, your children, or your neighbor. It is hurt you, it is hurting us.
Yes.
Yes, why?
Yes.
Why?
All the people were being
Okay, so look what Rambam says. If you are, how you have to look at yourself. You know how you define tzaddik? How do you say, acquitted? You know the word acquitted? Acquitted in Hebrew is zakai. Zakai. He's not guilty. Zakai, acquitted. And the other, is hayav, is guilty. How do I know if I'm guilty or acquitted? But listen, by mathematics, if I have 51% mitzvot, more than averot, I am a tzaddik. If Haz v'Shalom, I have 51% averot, I am a rasha. I am guilty. So what is it? How many more I need? 1%. 1% can define. So what Rambam said, that you should look at yourself? 50-50. Chatzi. Why? Why is saying this? Now you have to think that every mitzvah you do, you are not guilty. One more mitzvah. So every person should look at himself that he's 50-50. So one of the students asked me, okay, I make a mitzvah, I put tzedakah. Now I'm tzaddik? No. Now also you're 50-50. So he said, but you have to think that every mitzvah can make you a tzaddik and every averah can make you a rasha. That's about me privately. What about my family? Also 50-50. What about my community? Also 50-50. What about the entire Jewish nation? 50-50. So all 50-50. Now tell me, so if I have my own private life, what Rambam is what message is trying to give us? If I said to look only at yourself or to look at the community?
Begin with yourself.
So you look, you are selfish?
To begin with yourself,
No.
know that you can affect the whole community.
Now you can affect. You affect.
Right.
You affect your community because the 1% I added to myself, I added to the community. So that's what we call responsibility. So look how each one of us has a responsibility not only to myself, not only to my family, not only to my community, not only to my country, to the entire Jewish nation. One mitzvah, one mitzvah. So that's what Rambam is trying to tell us. To take responsibility and don't say my neighbor is a rasha, my this. You make tikkun atzmi. You make tikkun for yourself. The moment you fix yourself, you improve yourself, you upgrade yourself with mitzvot, you already make a lot of credit to your community and to the entire Jewish nation. Is it clear?
Yes.
That's Rambam. Now I'm going back to the shofar. You know the shofar should be a unique shofar. Which animal should I take the shofar?
From the Egel.
No, has v'shalom. Egel זה עגל הזהב. You don't know which animal?
From the cow? The ram? La oveja, no?
Eh, what? Ayil. Who said Ayil? Very good. Ayil, ram. So now look what Rabbi Avahu asked, and the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, page 16. Amar Rabbi Avahu, lama tok'im b'shofar shel Ayil? Rabbi Avahu doesn't ask lama tok'im b'shofar, why you blow the shofar, why? Because the Torah told us to blow the shofar. But he said, but the Torah doesn't tell us to make shofar shel Ayil, of a ram. So he asked, why shofar shel Ayil? You know why Ayil?
Because during the Akedah.
Video, excellent. He said, because Hashem said, when you blow the shofar shel Ayil, I will remember the Akedat Yitzhak, and I will consider it to yourself like you are in the Akedah. Each one of you made the Akedah of Akedat Yitzhak. So that, by the way, all the shofarot are kosher if you don't Ayil. But the best of the best is Ayil. The best of the best. Not that the other shofarot are pasul. So now, I would like now to go to the bracha of the shofar. On Chodesh Elul, do we make bracha? No, we don't. On Chodesh Elul, we don't make bracha. When we make the bracha, on Rosh Hashanah.
We didn't blow the shofar in Chodesh Elul.
What? Speak up.
No, Sephardim, we don't blow the shofar in Chodesh
Not the Sfaradim. The Halabim don't blow the shofar. Sfaradim, you come here, I'm going every day to Slichot. They make a lot of tkiot. Every morning.
I should go to Israel.
Only in Panama, that's the only place I saw that there is no shofar on Chodesh Elul. But the entire country, entire Israel, on all over the world, maybe it's Minhag Halabi. It's only Halabim, I think. But the Sfaradim from North Africa, they do blow the shofar. However, you don't make bracha. Why? It's midrabanan. It's not midoraita. But in Rosh Hashanah, we make a bracha on the shofar.
Yes.
By the way, this year is a very unique day. Very unique about shofar. You know why?
Shabbat.
Nachon. Do we blow on Shabbat?
No.
No, we don't blow on Shabbat. So he said now. So we said in the beginning, Allah Elohim bitru'ah, which we said it Rosh Hashanah, Hashem bekol shofar shal Chodesh Elul. That means the shofar has the ability to elevate God. God. Allah Elohim bitru'ah. Hashem been elevated. So the shofar is very powerful. Not only to prevent from us to make a sin, is to elevate God. My gosh, how high God can go high. But he said no. So it's very important to learn. But the bracha, but the bracha is very unique bracha. Do you remember what bracha?
Yes.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו מה? לתקוע בשופר?
שופר.
No, Ruth, you make a mistake. Speak up, I don't hear you. Hold on. Oh, okay, because my volume is... What did you say? You know, look at the bracha. Look at the bottom line. ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו, לשמוע כל שופר. לשמוע כל שופר. So that's very, very unique. You know, when you make on the bread, what bracha you make on bread? המוציא לחם מן הארץ. And you eat the bread. Right? נטילת ידיים, you wash your hands and you make. Usually the verb of the bracha is the action itself. But now what is the action about the shofar? The action, the verb. No, that's the bracha. But what is the blower doing? תקיעה. So the bracha should be what? לתקוע בשופר. לתקוע. What you said, Ruth, you use your logic. He said, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לתקוע. Because לשמוע, the blower, he is the תוקע. What is the title of the blower? בעל תוקע. He is the blower. So the verb, the action is לתקוע. But the mitzvah is לשמוע. It's a very, very, very unique mitzvah. The verb and the mitzvah are two different. So the action is לתקוע and the mitzvah is לשמוע. By the way, do you know who? That's according Rambam and all the poskim. But there is one rabbi that says the bracha is לתקוע. One rabbi. He's Rabbeinu Tam. But it is interesting enough that most of the Jewish people, not most, all, even Reform and Conservative, they follow Rambam. Nobody follow Rabbeinu Tam. So if we will have time, if not next week, we'll learn what is the dispute between Rambam and Rabbeinu Tam. But right now, I want you to notice this is a very, very unique mitzvah. The action is לתקוע, and the mitzvah is לשמוע. So I will ask you now a question. As we usually say cappuccino in the house. Is it possible that בעל תוקע לא יוצא, not fulfill the mitzvah, and the congregation do fulfill the mitzvah? You understand my question?
Possible. No. It's possible because it's not possible. He is making the action and he's hearing at the same time.
No, but he here.
Yes.
So the בעל תוקע is fulfill the mitzvah.
Yes.
I'm asking you,
Yes.
there is a situation, is it possible that בעל תוקע will not be יוצא? And the whole congregation do? Yes. It's 1 to a million.
He is deaf. If he's deaf.
If he's deaf, he cannot make תקיעה.
Oh.
But I tell you when. Could you imagine to yourself that during the tki'ah, a fly went into his ear? Did you ever get fly inside your ear?
Yes.
Oh, it's a buzz. It's a big music, you know? And just by theory. So he did not hear the shofar. He heard the fly. But the community, the congregation, did hear the shofar. He thought it goofed big time. He said, yo, mehila, mehila, I don't know what happened to me. I didn't blow the shofar. No, he said, that's the best tki'ah you did ever. We heard the shofar. So they are yotze, but he is not yotze. So the meaning is, the lishmoa. You have to hear if you do not hear. Do you know what is echo? Nachon? Echo. You know what is echo?
Yes.
If you blow the shofar inside a pit,
Yes.
you know what I mean when I say the pit? Then you have echo.
Yes.
So, yotze or lo yotze? You fulfill the mitzvah or not?
Yotze. You have to hear it directly, I think.
You hear directly, but you are near the pit, and the tokea is near the pit, and he put the shofar near the opening of the pit, and my question, not my question, is Mishnah in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. Is it yotze or lo yotze? So look at the answer. Look, Mishnah Masechet Perek Gimel. התוקע לתוך הבור או לתוך הדות, if you blow the shofar near the pit, כן? Something that they have hollow. אם כל שופר שמע, יצא. If you hear the sound of the shofar itself, you fulfill the mitzvah. But אם כל הברה שמע, if you hear the echo, לא יצא. You see? Wow. So again, the main thing is not echo, no fake, no mimic. The mitzvah is lishmoa kol shofar. So again, I put here conclusion. הפעולה היא לתקוע, אך המצווה היא לשמוע. It rhymes beautifully. The action is to blow, but the mitzvah is to hear. Now I'm going back to... By the way, it is interesting, you know, what is... now I would like to share with you, what is lishmoa? Even the word lishmoa is not as we say it every day. When you say to your son or to your daughter or to your student, you say, Shamata oti? Did you hear me? What do you mean?
It's not an action. It's...
but what do you ask when...
Are you listening to understand?
Ah, very good. Did you hear me? It's not every, when you say the word lishmoa, don't take it always as hearing. You know, you can hear, you know, take it from one ear and go to the other ear. Go out. But you know, he said, Shamata, it mean, did you digest? Did you understand me? You understand the message? But Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he gave a beautiful in Parashat Re'eh. We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Remember, we have bracha and klala. Nachon? Bracha and klala. So look, it says, Pasuk of Zayin, Et ha-beracha asher tishme'u, the bracha that you hear, El mitzvot Hashem Elokechem, the mitzvot of Hashem, Va-kelala, and the curse, Im lo tishme'u El mitzvot Hashem Elokechem. So what the pshat is, said, if you follow the mitzvot, I will bless you. If you not follow the mitzvot, I'll curse you. That's the pshat. Or HaChaim HaKadosh said something unbelievable. Look at Or HaChaim HaKadosh, 9 Aleph. ותלה כתוב הברכה בשמיעה, ולא הזכיר לו מעשה ולא שמירה. He didn't say if you keep the Shabbat. Just hearing the shi'ur. Just to hear the shi'ur. Just to hear the halakha. לפי שהשומע דברי אלוקים חיים. If now, my dear friend, you know what you do now? What you do now? Now, what we doing now? Right now, what are we doing?
You're hearing.
You're hearing. And you know what you do now? What Or HaChaim said? That's the fact is bracha. Just the fact that you hear, it's bracha. Now, if you said to your friend, let's hear, we have a shi'ur, let's hear a little, some divrei Torah. Say, no, I don't like it in this. So he's not. So look what Or HaChaim says. And if you did not, you don't, you refuse to hear, is a klala. Hashem doesn't have to curse you. Not at all. So you know who bless you and who curse you? Us. All of us. You know who? Ourselves. Ourselves. Hashem is not. Hashem said, it's your business. In just the fact that you make itim la Torah, you go to the Morah, you go to the Moreh, you go to the Rav, you hear a shi'ur, Or HaChaim said the shmi'ah is the bracha. And if you refuse to hear, is a klala itself. That's a beautiful explanation of Or HaChaim HaKadosh. Just look, my dear friend, how it is important to hear divrei Torah. Look, his word of Or HaChaim HaKadosh. Look here, the yellow and red. Hamoneh atzmo mishmi'at HaTorah. If you prevent yourself to hear Torah, הרי הוא מקולל מעצמו. The klala is on itself. You curse yourself. וזהו שיעור הכתוב והקללה אם לא תשמעו. The קללה, if you do not hear. The fact you do not hear is a קללה. How important it is, wow, to hear. So I have to, to compliment you that you always, consistent in שיעורי תורה. You have to know every time you go to שיעור תורה is a bracha. Infinity, not finite. Now let's go. Rosh Hashanah is the day. Who was created on Rosh Hashanah?
Adam Harishon.
Adam וחווה, נכון?
Right.
So that's the story of Rosh Hashanah. As a matter of fact. Let's see what happened in Rosh Hashanah, okay? ויקח אדוני אלוהים את האדם והניחו בגן עדן. In Gan Eden he took him. לעובדה ולשומרה. By the way, what is to work in the garden? By the way, if you have, if you had a passport, Adam and Hava. Sometimes in the passport in Israel, it says also occupation. What is your occupation? You know what was the occupation of Adam Arishon? He was a teacher,
Farmer.
A doctor, what?
Was he a farmer?
No, you are close. Where Hashem took him? What? Lagan. What is Gan? Garden. So what he was a gardener.
A gardener, oh. Yes.
That's his first job. He was a gardener. He said, Mikol etz hagan nachol tochel. You have thousands of etzim tree. Every tree you can eat. Me'etz hadat tovara lo tochal. Only one tree. The tree of knowledge. Okay, we know the story. That's why I do it very quick. והנחש היה ערום, he was sneaky, and he said, אשר עשה אלוהים, ויאמר אל האישה, אף כי אמר אלוהים, לא תאכלו מעץ הגן. Hashem said, do not eat from the עץ הגן. Did Hashem say it? Big fake, Hashem never said it. But the snake is a snake. You know what we say? You know how we say somebody who is not honest guy? We call him sneaky. נכון? It comes from the word snake. כן? זה לא תאכלו מכל העץ הגן. ותאמר האישה אל הנחש. Now what the Isha should say to the נחש? It's wrong. Hashem never said it. No, but so what she said, she didn't say, מפרי עץ הגן נאכל. We can eat from the tree of the, of the garden. מפרי העץ אשר בתוך הגן, אמר אלוהים, לא תאכלו ממנו ולא תיגעו בו. But from the fruit of the tree of knowledge, Hashem said, don't eat and don't touch. Hashem said it?
No.
What Hashem
He said not to eat.
He said not to eat. He didn't say don't touch it. Pentemutun, you might die. ויאמר הנחש אל האישה, לא מות תמותון. That's fake. You will not die. You know what the Nahash did according to the Midrash?
Blasphemy to Hashem.
But what he did, he pushed her. He touched the tree. He pushed her to the tree. And he touched the tree of the... And you know what kind of tree was it? What tree is this? What fruit? But what fruits?
It was a trog, maybe
or grapevine.
Okay, we have, according to the Gemara, it could be 4 options. Okay? It could be a trog, it could be fig, it could be wheat, and it could be grapes. Okay, but don't follow what the kindergarten teacher, she wrote an apple. Apple was not part of the situation. However, according to the rabbis, is grapes. So he said, you know why? Hashem doesn't want you to eat. If you eat, you'll open your eyes and you will be like God to know good and bad. Wow, ותרא האישה כי טוב העץ. כן, he said, the עץ, it's so good. למאכל. So which part of your body you start to make a sin? Which organ?
her eyes.
The eyes. Your eyes. The eyes always start. That's why it's very, very important what you see. ותרא כי למאכל וכי תאווהו לעיניים. It's a lust. ונחמד העץ להשכיל. ותיקח מפריו ותאכל. And she took from the fruit and she ate. ותיתן Now, in addition to what she did, just in case, she gave also to her husband to eat. Why you give to your husband? You know you goofed big time now. ותפקחנה עיני שניהם וידעו כי ערומים הם. And they opened their eyes and they realized they are naked. He said, what do you mean? You didn't know you're naked before? What happened now when you eat the fruit, you realize you're naked? And you know what is the first thing, they did? ויתפרו עלי תאנה. They took the leaves of the figs, ויעשו להם חגורות. And they made clothes from the leaves of the figs. You know this story, נכון? You know who made it for them? Hashem. What Hashem should tell them now? So Hashem is doing chesed to them? Or is he punishing them?
No, it's a chesed.
Yes.
Chesed. He doesn't, not yet, we're not in the punishment yet. But you know what Hashem giving, what message he's giving them by giving them the clothes, the ale te'ena? You know what he's telling them? You quit. You left me. But I'm not going to leave you alone. I am with you. I'll help you to make tshuva. But I will not leave you alone. That's, by the way, the big chesed, that the first chesed that Hashem did with human being. That he gave ale te'ena to Adam and Chava. Now, let's pasuk het. וישמעו, לשמוע, את כל אדוני אלוהים מתהלך בגן לרוח היום. They heard the voice of God, the sound of God. ויתחבא אדם ואשתו. They hid themselves. You know, from whom they hid themselves?
From Hashem.
Is it not stupid to hid? Can you hide yourself? Can you hide yourself from Hashem?
No. But because they weren't on the same level.
But he said, do you remember who ran away from Hashem?
No.
You do remember.
The prophet, what's his name?
No, what's his name? Yom Kippur. We read about him in Mincha. Yonah. You know what Rabbi Shimon said to what Yonah said, according to Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, even Gibirol said, Barachti mimecha elecha. I ran away from you to you. Barachti mimecha elecha. So what do you mean you Veithabeh Adam Ishto? That's stupid. You had. But you know, when a criminal, now he's a criminal, he's a sinner, nachon? When you make a crime, what the first thing the criminal doing? Running away from the place of the crime, nachon? In which place he hid himself? Look, betoch etz hagan, inside the tree. So he ran away to the place of the crime. It's very unusual. You don't do this. Now the game starts. Now we go into the most famous, thing. We learn it many, many times.
Ayeka.
כן. ויקרא Do you hear something? Okay, maybe it's my air condition. ויקרא אדוני אלוהים אל האדם ויאמר לו אייכה. I'm not going to tell you, we all know what is Ayeka, especially the people who are in my shiurim all the time. What is Ayeka? If you translate, is where are you? But we know that you cannot say where are you. Hashem knows where is he. So what is where are you? Ruth, do you remember? What is where are you?
Yes. Where is Hashem? Inside you.
Okay, you're going to the end, but let's go step by step.
And where are you before the sin?
That I say, where are you that you were 1 minute ago?
Yes.
Okay? Where are you that you were 1 minute ago you were naked? Who told you that you are naked? So what is the message of God to Adam? So what is it? Where are you? So the man after the sin, a man after the sin,
It's not the same.
Not only the same, he is not himself.
Yes.
נכון? So what Hashem is asking him, where are you? The original Adam. The authentic Adam that you were just yesterday. That when I created you, you are different. You're not yourself. And now what Ruth you started to say, we learn, is not only where are you, where I am inside you.
Inside you.
The Tzelem Elokim, I gave you my part of, you are part of myself. I don't feel myself inside you. Where are you? So look what he says. ויאמר את קולך שמעתי בגן ואירע כערום אנוכי ואחווה. Wow. Now, I would like to explain to you what it was the main goal of the snake. You know what was the main goal of the snake? Listen to me carefully. The main goal of the snake did not want us, the human being, to internalize God inside us. The snake wanted that we would see Hashem as a policeman with uniform. When you see a policeman with uniform, is external or internal?
External.
He's external. And the last thing that the snake wants to see, that we see Hashem is built inside ourselves. Now, when the Hava, when she did what she did, the snake was very successful. She's talking about God like the God is external policeman. So now tell me, he said, I heard your voice. נכון? ויאמר את קולך שמעתי. Now, if you want today, if you have a noise in your house, or near your house, or in a wedding from the music, and you do not want to hear the sound, what you do with your ears?
Earplugs?
Yeah, say it again. What did you say?
You put on earplugs.
נכון? Or you put your finger to your ear, and if your earplug is the best thing. Why? Because the noise is external. Now tell me, when you hear the voice of God, what do you mean you hear? So it's external or internal?
Internal.
Now the word ayeka, where is it coming from? From where? From the Shamayim? From the four wings of the world? From the ground? Where is it coming? Where is it coming from?
External. From inside. It's inside him.
So if I put ear,
Inside.
that Nachon Ruth, it's coming from inside me. That means if I put earplug, it will help?
No.
No, it will not help. You know, when we make a sin, let me now go to reality, to our life. When we make a sin, has v'shalom, but we make, I would say even every day, how we feel?
Guilty.
You feel guilty. You know, this guilty, you know what is this? Ayeka.
Yes.
That's the ayeka. The ayeka is not that Hashem said ayeka, like they make in the movie. Ayeka is a sound that's coming from inside to inside. So when a person make, even in the darkness of the darkness, he make a sin, Hashem is with you over there, he can see it. Hashem can hear. It's nothing external. I'll tell you a very short story about Chafetz Chaim. I don't know if I told you, Chafetz Chaim used to live in a city called Radin. He had a grocery store. His wife taking care of the store, but he brought the merchandise. So we went to the Karkara with the wagon, and he said from city to city, he took a wagon, and the driver, the one with the wagon, the owner of the wagon, every time he went through the field, he used to steal wheat and barley, whatever he saw in the field, corns. So when he stopped the horses, he said to Chafetz Chaim, please, can you watch out to see if you see people, if you see people see me, call me, that I can run away. So when he got started to steal, the Chafetz Chaim said, Ro'im otcha. They see you. He was in panic. He looking around, he didn't see, but he's in panic. He took the horses with a whip and running away. After 10, 20 miles, he was breathing. He said, Baruch Hashem, that nobody sees him. He said, Chafetz Chaim, can I ask you a question? He said, sure, what question? He said, when you called me, they said they see me. you know, where they came from. I look, he said, you know, he said, where did you look? I said, I look left and right and front and then my back. I didn't see. He said, did you look above yourself? You didn't look up. Somebody from above see you. And that's a famous story of Chafetz Chaim. So when we make a sin, the guilt, by the way, the guilt, we call it in Hebrew nikifot matzpun. Matzpun is a conscience. When you have pain in your conscience, that's, Rav Kook says, is healthy. That means you are healthy. Then you can make tshuva. So that's what Evan said now. And that's the story of Ayeka. Now, when you go to the judge, why they got afraid? Just a few minutes ago, they used to walk to take a trip with Hashem. They used to go with hand by hand. Adam, Chava, and Hashem in the Gan Eden. All of a sudden, they have fear from God. Why you have fear of God? When you go to the judge in the court, many judges know before they hear if the man is guilty or not. You know how? By their body language. Who is afraid? The sinner or the one? If you did not make sin, and you know that Hashem knows that you did not make the sin, you feel with confidence, you feel sure about yourself, or you scared to death?
You should be sure.
If you're sure, you don't care what the judge will say. You care, but you know that Hashem knows I didn't do any sin. So you feel very good. You know when the fear start to come upon people? You know when? After the sin. You know what Adam got scared? Because it was after the sin. Before the sin, they used to walk together. Every day, every minute, they used to be together. He was not afraid. And that's why they were together. Now, I'm going to the second part. The second part, my dear friend, is the Akedah. Now, so who is the star of Rosh Hashanah? If you're talking about Rosh Hashanah, who was born in Rosh Hashanah? Who was
Adam
created?
Arishon.
Adam Arishon. So what should we read in the Torah?
Rosh Hashanah, Adam Arishon.
Adam Arishon. But you know what we read in Rosh Hashanah?
Akedat Yitzhak.
That's the second day. What the first day?
Hashem remembers Sarah and she gets pregnant.
No, keep going. So, after she got pregnant?
Yes, she
And
gets pregnant.
who was the baby?
Yitzhak.
So, Yitzhak. So, day one, number one is Yitzhak, and day number two, Yitzhak. You remember the shiur of last week? Yitzhak is the hero of Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
So now the question is, why Hashem took if not Yitzhak is Abraham. Abraham took Yitzhak for the Akedah. Why we make Abraham as the hero of Rosh Hashanah and Yitzhak and not Adam and Hava? Is the question clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see quick, because you know the story of the Akedah. I go quick just to know the main thing, the highlight of the Akedah. One of the most beautiful stories in the Torah, in the Tanakh, is the story of the Akedah. ויהי אחר הדברים האלה והאלוהים ניסה את אברהם ויאמר אליו אברהם. After those things, Hashem tested Abraham. You know what is tested? Nisa? You know what is the other meaning of the word Nisa? Elevated. When Hashem testing you and you pass the test, you've been elevated. So the word Nisa is not only tested, it's also elevated. ויאמר אליו אברהם, ויאמר הנני. Wow. What is הנני?
I'm here
I'm here for what?
for you.
To fulfill whatever you want. So Abraham knows what is the mission?
No.
No. But he says hineni.
No.
Hineni is here I am. How do you know you have the ability to do what Hashem is telling you to do? No, he's not asking what. He said hineni.
Give us the power for Naaseh v'Nishma.
Almost like Naaseh v'Nishma. Even more than this. He didn't say נשמע, he said הנני. ויאמר קח נא את בנך, he said take your son, he said which son? I have two. את יחידך, the only one, I have two singles. אשר אהבת, which you love, I said I love both of them. את יצחק. לך לך אל ארץ המוריה. Do you remember the first test of Abraham? First test of Abraham, you know how many tests Hashem tested Abraham? 10 tests, 10 tests. The first one, לך לך מארצך, and the 10th one is also לך לך אל ארץ המוריה. You know what the difference between the first and the last one? The first one, לך לך מארצך, give up your past. Forget about your parents. And now, קח נא את בנך, give up what?
Your future.
Your future. Just I want to see what kind of test. He said because Hashem told him, all your future is יצחק. נכון? כי ביצחק יקרא לך זרע. So what Abraham should say to Hashem? Hey, ריבונו של עולם, I'll do whatever you want. But you promised to me that he's going to be my offspring. He's going to be my future, the future of Jewish. Abraham doesn't ask even one question. ועלהו שם לעולה על אחד הערים אשר אומר אליך. So on the ways, and you know the GPS, he put ארץ המוריה. Okay, you know where to go. ארץ המוריה is ירושלים. So I know. But when you go to ירושלים, you know, על אחד ועלהו שם אשר אומר אליך. The ways is not going to work anymore because there are many mountains. So what Hashem promised to him? What is Asher Omar Elecha?
I will show you.
I will talk to you then and I will show you. I will talk to you. Omar Elecha. Keep this in your mind, please. I put it in red that you will pay attention. Now, Pasuk Gimel, Vayashkem Avraham Baboker. Wow. Wow. He's another hero of Abraham. If you know that you have only one son and you listen to Hashem and you know in the morning you're going to sacrifice him, what you cannot do during the night?
Sleep.
You cannot sleep. And Abraham slept?
Yes.
Yes, he did sleep. He did sleep. It's amazing. Do you know who else was sleeping? Why everybody was scared to death?
Yitzhak.
No, Yitzhak doesn't know yet. You know who? Yonah. Remember the story of Yonah? When the storm came on the boat, on the ship, what Yonah did, everybody was praying and, doing everything. What Yonah is doing? Going to the basement to sleep. וישכם אברהם בבוקר ויחבוש את חמורו. He himself prepared the donkey. ויקח את שני נעריו. He took the two boys. Who are the two boys?
Eliezer and
Ishmael.
יופי, I want you to remember. Eliezer and Ishmael. ואת יצחק בנו. But the text doesn't tell us יצחק Ishmael. The Midrash is telling us. The Torah is telling us only the name יצחק. ויבקע הצלם ויקום וילך אל המקום אשר אמר לו אלוהים. ביום השלישי, on the third day, וייסע אברהם, now he is in ארץ המוריה, נכון? What Hashem promised to him? I will appear to you and I'll tell you which mountain. But look what happened. וייסע אברהם את עיניו, he lifted up his eyes, וירא את המקום מרחוק, and he saw that place. So what you going to ask?
How did he know?
How do you know this is the place? Who told him? Hashem never told him. Hashem said, I will appear to you, I'll talk to you. But Abraham has any doubt? No. He's sure. Who told him? So you know the Midrash. What is the Midrash?
That there was a cloud there, maybe?
Yes. But who saw the cloud?
Abraham.
Okay. So listen to the Midrash. Abraham asked the two boys, what do you see? You see mountains, hills, wind. He said to Yitzhak, what do you see? He said, the cloud touched the mountain. He said, wow. That means not everybody can see the cloud. He said, two different leagues. So he said to the נערים, Lu said the next, ויאמר אברהם ונעריו, שבו לכם פה עם החמור. You are the same league of the donkey. The donkey doesn't see the cloud and you don't see the cloud, you cannot. ואני והנער, and I am in יצחק, נלכה עד כה. I put the word כה in red and yellow. What is כה in Hebrew? Could you translate the word כה?
There.
How do you say there in Hebrew?
Shama.
No, why it doesn't say Shama? Sham is a biblical word. But you see, do you remember when Hashem said to Abraham about Yitzhak? That he is going to be the future of the Jewish nation? 3 words he said. You know, remember what he said?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Very good, excelente. Ko yeh zara'echa. So you know, Abraham said, I'm going to check what is the meaning of the word ko. Because if I'm going to sacrifice Yitzhak, there is no ko. So Abraham knows that Hashem knows what to do. So he said, I don't understand. So I'm going to check what is the meaning of the word ko. But you, not in the madrega, in the stage, in the level, you can go up to the mountain. You know, how do I know? You didn't see the cloud touch the mountain. And he said, you stay here and wait for me on the bottom. Could you imagine yourself what Ishmael think this moment? That Yitzhak and his father going up to the top of the mountain and he is on the bottom. You know how he felt?
Wow.
Jealous.
Rejected.
Very, very jealous. You know for how long? Until today. You know what the Muslims write, what they like? Mount Temple. Hara Moriah. And how many times Hara Moriah mentioned in the Quran?
None.
Zero.
Zero. Nada. Zero. How many times the Jerusalem in the Quran? Zero.
Zero.
But you know that this jealousy, when he saw Yitzhak, is up to today. They don't even realize this. But the jealousy was so big. And he said to him, ויקח אברהם את עצי העולה, וישם על יצחק בנו, ויקח בידו את האש ואת המאכלת, וילכו שניהם יחדיו. You know, he took the knife, he took the woods, and he took everything, except one thing is missing. What is missing?
A korban.
A korban. Very good. What is וילכו שניהם יחדיו?
On the same spirit.
Not only the same spirit. Rashi says, בלב אחד כאיש אחד. Means, you know, together. Both of them going. But Yitzhak now feels something very strange. ויאמר יצחק אל אברהם אביו. ויאמר, אבי, my father. ויאמר, הנני, בני. Here I am, my son. ויאמר, הנה האש והעצים, ויעשה לעולה. I see the fire, I see the wood. Where is the korban? Where is the sheep? How do you say where in this pasuk? You know, say where? How do you say where in Hebrew?
Efo.
Efo. But here it doesn't say efo. You know what it says? Ayeh. So if you look at the dictionary for the word ayeh, it says efo. But in the Chumash ayeh, the holy language, ayeh is not efo. Efo is when I want to know physically where are you. Like what? When Yosef asked the angel, where are my brother? Where are they? You know, said, where efo hem roim? Efo. I want to know the location. But ayeh is not efo. That means, you know, like Hashem said to Adam, ayeh ka. Ayeh ka is ayeh ata. He knows where is he. So it's not efo ata. Ayeka, do you know when they ask about Sarah, the angels, when they came to Sarah, and they ask, where is Sarah? How do they say, where is? Ayeh Sarah ishtecha. In the Kedusha, do you know when we said, where is God? You know what we says? Ayeh mekom kevodo. So the word ayeh is a very, very strong word in the Kabbalah. So he said, ayeh, that means Yitzhak knows, he didn't say efo. He says ayeh, like ayeka. ויאמר אברהם, אלוהים יראה לו עשה לעולה בני. Hashem will help us to see the korban. Some people said, אלוהים יראה לו, Hashem will show us Haseh le'olah bni. You are my son, you are the korban. But it's a clue, it's a remez. Now Yitzhak knows for sure that he is the korban. How old is Yitzhak?
37.
37.
How old is Abraham?
137.
Very good, you know math very well. Now, if you tell me honestly, if your father is 137 and you are 37 and your father said, Hashem appeared to me to sacrifice you, what would you do?
Maybe you can see
I don't know what would you do. I tell you what I would do. I would take to my father to the doctor. I know that Alzheimer's started, you know, but the man, וילכו שניהם יחדיו. So we look twice, וילכו שניהם יחדיו. Before he knew he's the korban, and after he knew he's the korban. That means Yitzhak is the hero. Yitzhak is the gvura, his heroism. He knows that he's the korban, and he's going with his father. Unbelievable. That's why he's the star in Rosh Hashanah. ויבואו אל המקום אשר אמר לו האלוהים. Again, they came to the place. What is אמר לו?
Tell him.
He told him. He told him? I never saw. We never saw that Hashem told him. But even the Torah, the text says אמר לו. So there is something behind. We have to see what is אמר לו. ויבן שם אברהם את המזבח ויערוך את העצים ויעקוד את יצחק בנו וישם אותו על המזבח. He put the Yitzhak on the altar and he put the wood. וישלח. Now this is the peak of the Akedah. וישלח אברהם את ידו. He stretched his arm, the yad. ויקח את המאכלת. You know what is מאכלת? The knife. So why you call it מאכלת? Knife you say sakin. You know, this sakin for shechita is consuming. It's very scary. It's a very sharpened knife. לשחוט את בנו. When he lift up his hand, ויקרא אליו מלאך אדוני מן השמיים ויאמר אברהם אברהם. ויאמר מה? הנני. The word hineni. How many hineni we found already? 3 times. He said to Hashem hineni, he said to his son hineni, and now he said to the angels. ויאמר אברהם ויאמר הנני. ויאמר אל תשלח ידך אל הנער. Don't stretch your arm to the boy. ואל תעש לו מאומה. And don't harm him. Wait a minute. Let's translate slowly. What is אל תשלח ידך אל הנער? Don't send your arm to the boy. So why you have to repeat, don't harm him? You understand? It's repeat.
He was too focused to do that, and they were afraid that he would kill him.
Okay. What you said now, I will help you, Malka. You're thinking right. The Midrash says the Torah doesn't tell us every word. Between the first Tishlach Yadcha El Hana'ar V'al Ta'as Lo Me'uma, Abraham talked to Hashem, to the angel. You know what he said to Hashem? Now, how many days did he walk?
3 days.
3 days. Nachon? What do you think he did with his energy 3 days? What he prepared himself? To do mitzvah. To do mitzvah, nachon? Now you are full with energy to do mitzvah. It's like, you're taking your son and prepare the wedding for him. And 1 minute before the wedding, he said, you don't get married. You destroy the whole wedding. Hashem, so you know what Abraham said to Hashem? What would you do if you would be Abraham and Hashem and the angel says, it was a test. You did very good with the test. What would you do? You would be happy or unhappy?
Thank you very much.
Baruch Hashem. You know what Abraham said to Hashem? Hashem, I have so much energy to do something for positive. Let me scratch him. Let me abuse him a little bit, take a little bit blood. You know what Hashem said to him? Al ta'as lo me'uma. That's why he said, don't harm the boy. Is a pure sacrifice. Don't touch him. That's why he repeated. Because between and between, Abraham said, let me do something. What should I do with my energy? I have to do something with my energy. But he asked permission from God. And you know what Hashem said to him? No, you did very good job. Don't worry. Ki ata yadati. You know what is ata? Now. Now I know. Ki yireh Elohim ata velo hasachta et bincha et yichitcha mimeni. You have fear of God. Now I know that you did not even save your son from me. You took him. Do you have any question on this pasuk? Now I know that you have fear of God. How many tests Hashem tested Abraham?
10 times.
10 times. This number what?
10?
That's number 10. And what Hashem said to him, now I know that you have fear of God. Well, only now? Only now Hashem knows that he has fear of God? Only the 10th one? What do you mean, Atta Yadati? So I'll give you a quick answer.
Son.
Ma what?
Because Hashem told him how he should behave all his life, how there should be no sacrifice, and now he has to go against everything that he taught him.
Okay, that makes sense what you say, but I'd like to go something deep. I read it in Rabbi Admor Mislonim. The book is Netivot HaShalom. He wrote a beautiful answer to this, because this is a big question. What do Hashem now I know? First of all, Hashem knows everything. So he said, now I know. What is now I know that you have fear of God? So listen what he says. Abraham by nature, there is ahava, nachon? Ahava is chesed, and there is gvura, heroism. Nachon?
Yes.
So Abraham is chesed or gevura? Chesed. Now let's take the word ahava and yir'ah. What is ahava? Ahava is love. Yir'ah is fear. So ahava is parallel to the word what? Chesed. Nachon?
Chesed.
And yir'ah is fear.
Gevura.
Gevura. So take now Abraham and Yitzhak. Who is by nature ahava and who is by nature gevura? Abraham is ahava and Yitzhak what?
Gevura.
What is gevura? Yir'ah or ahava?
Yir'ah.
Yir'ah. So by nature, Hashem has to test Abraham by yir'ah or by ahava? Yir'ah. Why he doesn't have to test him by ahava? Because he's ahava. He's ahava. He's not in there. And said, now I'm going to test you if you have also gevura. If you have yir'ah. Now what Hashem is to test Yitzhak? Ahava. Ki by nature he has yir'ah. Now when Hashem, now tell me now, this is an easy test or very difficult test?
Very difficult.
Unbelievable. I don't know if there is any human being can do this test. Nachon? We all agree. When you have a big test from God, you have to know, when for us, for our life, let's say if you have a crisis in the family, you know, you need also not only to control the crisis, you need help from Hashem, from somebody to help you. Okay? So you need another mitzvah to help you. Now, when Abraham, now the testing of Abraham, do you remember the first word? Let's go to the first one. Do you remember the name of God? What is the name of God? How we call Hashem? What is the name of God? Elokim or Hashem? Elokim. Hashem is not his name? Hashem is also his name. What the difference between Elokim and Hashem? But what is the difference?
One is Din.
Oh, Elohim is fear, is gevura, and Hashem is mercy, is ahava. And now let's see, look at Pasuk Aleph. ויהי אחר הדברים האלה, who tested Abraham? Elohim, not Hashem. Not Hashem, because all this test is about fear of God, not about love. I know you love me. But I know to know if now if you have gvura. So who helped Abraham to get the gvura?
Yitzhak.
Hashem.
You're very good, Yitzhak.
Yitzhak.
Yitzhak. Now who helped Yitzhak to get Ahava?
Abraham.
Abraham. Now give me a pasuk malka from the Kedah. וילכו שניהם
Yahdav.
דחדיו. You know what is יחדיו now? It's another meaning. They're helping each other. Abraham is helping Yitzhak and Yitzhak is helping Abraham. וילכו שניהם יחדיו. That's the meaning. And that's why Hashem said, אתה ידעתי, now I know that you have fear of God in addition to the love that you give me all your life. Now I know you also got, this. You got also heroism. You got also Yirat Elokim. Now what we do now with the energy? Now before I'll go ahead, I'll go now to, we didn't answer the question, why do we read in Rosh Hashanah the Akedah and not the story of Adam and Chava? Somebody now can guess now?
Yes,
We
because
have the shofar. We have the shofar that.
Beseder, with all due respect to the shofar, people said the shofar, the Akedah was on Yom Kippur.
because of the zehut of Abraham and Yitzhak, we are here until now.
Aha. Okay. So let me give you the answer that I prepared for you. It said the answer is, what question Hashem asked Adam?
Ayeka.
Ayeka. What did he answer? את קולך שמעתי, I hear your voice and I hid myself, נכון? And this is a good answer. If you are a teacher and the answer you get 0, you fail.
Because
You know
Abraham
what?
is making the
You know what
tikkun.
Abraham said to Hashem when he said, Abraham?
Hineni.
Hineni, that's the answer to the question of Adam. Ayeka.
Abraham is making the tikkun.
Abraham is making the tikkun. Hineni is the answer. So we do not read on the first Adam of the world that he did not answer Ayeka. We read about not the first human being, the first Jewish man. Now Abraham is the first Jewish man that answered the question Ayeka. That's why, because of the word Hineni, we read this. So now we did not answer how the Abraham knows. We know how the Abraham knows. It says, "Vayisa Abraham et einav." Tell me now, Vayar again. They said, just remember when he saw the place, lift up his eyes and he saw. He saw the place. Now also, Vayisa Abraham et einav. He lift up his eyes and he saw what? Ram. Wow. You see the ram, and it's really inside in the midst of the thorns and the bushes over there, very strange. Abraham knew immediately that Hashem answered to him. Do you remember what was the request of Abraham between the two? Give him a stretch. What should I do with my energy? So what Hashem is telling him now? Take this
Now
ram,
do something.
take the ram and sacrifice him, and you put the energy on the oil. Now, how Abraham knows this is the answer? He saw a very strange oil. How does he know? Because usually the oil has 2 big horns, identical horns. You know what happened with this oil? One long and one short.
One short and one.
But he said this is not only, and you know when he says complicated, when he got complicated in the bushes, you know what Abraham saw? This is a metaphor. You know what is really the nimshal? What is really? He saw all the pogroms of the Jews all over the history. He saw the Holocaust. He saw the Inquisition. He saw the Spain, what happened in Spain. He saw everything, all what the Jewish people saw. And that's why he knew this is the oil that can forgive us in the future, not to have any more pogroms. So he said, "Vayikach et ha'ayil vaya'aleu le'olah." He took the oil that Hashem said. By the way, remember how he said the first sign is the horns. When do we use these horns? You know, when do we use? When do we use the short horns and the long horns? Do you know who blew the shofar in the Torah? Who blew the shofar?
Matan Torah.
Matan Torah. Who blew the shofar?
Torah.
Who blew?
Sure.
Hashem. Which shofar did he use?
Hashem.
Which shofar did he use?
The first one.
The aisle. But the short one or the big one?
Yes. The big one.
No, he did the short one.
The soul.
You know why the big one? He left to whom? To the Mashiach.
For the Messiah. Yes.
For the Mashiach. Do you know you say it every day? You pray Shmona Esrei every day?
Yes, yes.
So tell me which part is shofar?
The big one for the Messiah.
Say Teka b'shofar Gadol. Gadol. Teka b'shofar. The Qatar is Hashem used it already. Teka b'shofar Gadol lecherutenu. So Abraham knew he took the shofar and he blew, he took the ram and he said, Tahat beno. Can you help me to translate this word? Vaya'aleu le'olah, and he sacrificed the olah, the korban, Tahat beno. Can you translate the word Tahat beno? Instead of, okay, good translation, or under his son. You know what is under, or replacement of his son. You know, when Abraham closed his eyes and he took the shofar, he took the aisle, you know what did he see in his eyes? Like he sacrificed who?
His son.
Yitzhak.
His son.
That's why he said under his son, in the replacement of his son. So Hashem considered it to Abraham like he did sacrifice Yitzhak. ויקרא אברהם שם המקום ההוא השם יראה אשר יאמר השם בהר השם יראה. You know what happened when you do something like this to Hashem? Hashem is invisible or not invisible?
Invisible.
Why is invisible? You know what happened if he would not be...
Everywhere.
What?
He's everywhere.
Because he's not physical.
Yeah.
So what? But Hashem can make, we can see him. You know why? If you will see Hashem, would you make a sin? You will never make a sin. There is no free choice. There is no free choice.
We see Hashem everywhere.
You will die.
He is every day, but he's invisible. You have to feel him, not to see him.
Yes, yes.
But you know what happened on the Mount Har Moriah? Hashem yir'eh, Hashem will see, Behar Hashem yera'eh. You know what is yera'eh? Will appear. Abraham saw God and he didn't die. Because of the madrega, the stage, the elevation that he did, he saw God. That's amazing. Now you help me to know.
He feels God. Because
What?
He cannot see him. He feels him, but not see him.
Yeah, it's more than feeling. It's more than feeling. Many times it's much more than you and me. That sometimes you feel God. So now when he say, you remember he saw the place. Hashem didn't talk to him. He saw the aisle. Hashem did talk to him. So how, Ribono Shel Olam, which part of his body he used? Which organ?
Of what? To do what?
That he know the mountain. That he know the mountain. The eyes.
His eyes.
Now, which part of his body he know the aisle is instead of Yitzhak? The eyes. So what sense did he use?
His
The
eyes.
sight. Nachon? Now tell me, did Hashem talk to him or not?
No,
Yes.
he did.
I tell you why you say no. Because you think no is like I'm talking to you or you talking to me now. But you know when Hashem talk, he has many ways to talk to you. Did Hashem appear sometimes in the dream? Yes. The Shlomo HaMelech with the dream, Paro with the dream, you know. Hashem has many ways. Now when Abraham saw the mountain, did Hashem talk to him? How Abraham knew that this is the mountain?
There must have been a sign of something.
What do you say? What did he see? The cloud. He saw the cloud.
Cloud.
So if Hashem showed him the cloud on the mountain, did Hashem talk to him or not?
No, no.
Well,
Yes.
in a way, he sent him a sign.
He sent him a message, a sign. So when he said talk, Hashem talking, it doesn't mean like we be talking to each other. Hashem has many ways to talk to you. Don't you feel sometimes that you get a big message from God?
Yes.
Answers. We get answers.
Leona, do you remember when you told me about, you gave somebody, over there in Israel the donation for your father? You saw how Hashem, he helped you to find the right person in the right place? He said, you got a clear message. You sometimes, Hashem is talking to you, not directly like we talking to each other. So Abraham saw the mountain, Abraham saw the isle. When Abraham said, Hashem, what should I do with my energy? Hashem did talk to him. He showed him the isle. But this isle, when it was created, when he was born? By the way, do you know when?
In the first week of creation.
When? Which
Before
day?
Shabbat.
On Friday, twilight time.
בין השמשות.
Hashem prepared this isle. This isle is waiting for Abraham. It's not regular ram. He's waiting for Abraham from the creation of the world. You know how many years ago? 2,000 years. 2,000 years. Now tell me now. So now, if you give a compliment to one of the organ of Abraham, so which sense did he use the most?
Eyes.
Guys.
The eyes, nachon? Now listen, look at the next. Now Hashem, he's using. Hashem want to give him the reward. This is the blessing. V'yitbarechu bezar'echa kol goyei haaretz. Not only you will have offspring forever, all the nations of the world will be blessed by you. Ekev, you know what is Ekev? Because Asher shamata bekoli. You heard me. What he should say? You saw me. But he didn't say you the sight. He said shamata bekoli. Lishmoa. So now, my dear friend, I'm going back to the beginning of the show. So what is lishmoa mean? You know what is lishmoa? Lishmoa, you know what happened? When you feel God inside yourself, which sense you use? Each one of us, sometimes you do such a mitzvah and we feel good. I said always, this good is God. Because when he said you feel good, where? In the head, in the hand, in the ear. It's all over. It's all over. Not only in your heart. It's all over your system. And he said now, you know what happened to your senses when you see God? What happened to a person after he died? Can he see? Can he see?
No.
Absolutely yes. Look at the books. What happened with the people as clinic death? Did they see?
Yes.
Can they hear?
Yeah.
Yes. So what happened? But the eyes is on the body. The body is dead. You know what happened to our senses? We call it the unity of the senses. We hear and we see the same sense. Because the senses is only on the body. You know who has the unity? The neshama. The neshama doesn't need ears and doesn't need eyes. The neshama is unity. Do you remember what was the peak on the Matan Torah? What was the peak of Matan Torah?
They saw the color.
Bidyuk, they saw the kolot, they saw the sound. So now, v'yitbarechu bezarcha ekev asher shamata bekoli. You came to a madrega that you saw the mountain, the cloud, and you heard my voice. Abraham, this is the mountain. You heard me. But because you look very good, you use the eyes and the ears together. Asher shamata bekoli. Now you explain to me, my dear friend, the bracha is lishmoa kol shofar or litkoa shofar?
לשמוע.
What you have to hear?
לשמוע.
What you have to hear? You know what you have to hear? You have to hear Hashem inside you. You know what Hashem is telling us in Chodesh Elul? One word.
I'm here.
Hineni.
No, not you. What Hashem is telling us.
Ayeka.
Ayeka. Ayeka. And what you have to answer?
Hineni.
Oh, you have to answer Hineni. When you go Rosh Hashanah, when you go to Seder Tarat Nidarim, when Hashem said, Ayeka, don't wait 2,000 years to say Hineni. Adam Arishon was waiting 2,000 years for Abraham to say Hineni. You know what is the power of the shofar of Rosh of Chodesh Elul? 30 days, my dear friend. 30 days. Tell him, Malka, tell him to mute the microphone.
Sorry, I have to go to the other shiur, Saidi.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, I will hear the grabación.
So he said, when he said, remember, my dear friend, he said, the whole idea, the power of this shofar is to know, to listen, to hear. Now I tell you one more formula, but that's good for Shlom Bayit. Statistically, 80% of the fight in the house between husband and a wife, they do not know to listen to each other. He said, listen to each other. Don't interrupt your partner in the middle of the sentence. But don't wait also for the end. Say, let me finish. Okay, finish, but finish and listen. Listen what your partner is telling you. If we know to listen to each other, Hashem is listening to us. When Hashem said Ayeka, we'll say Hineni. Shabbat Shavua Tov. Kol Tov.
Saidi, I have a question.
Yes.